Okay, we should actually be recording now. Good fucking lord. OBS just does not want to work whenever we do anything anymore, so that's cool.
They're on to us.
Let's
should hack OBS.
They would. They fucking would. Okay, so we have to do 4 chapters, and I don't remember what happened. Was this the big Luffy Kaido fighting chapter? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I think this was all the big fighting chapters except for Sanji.
Sanji.
No, we did the Zoro ones too. But yeah, we're done with the Straw Hats. Yeah. So this, I really like the Kaido fighting chapter. I like the drunken phases. That's a good way to give Kaido something like goofy to do to kind of flesh out his personality a little more.
Yeah.
But also like the choreography in some of this, particularly this scene where like Luffy kicks Kaido in the face while Kaido's crying, but then he does like something I think he's never done before, which is, and I'm trying to find it, where he inflates his leg and then deflates it for like a piercing kick. I think that might happen later. I like the Conquer Hockey headbutt. That looks dope. Drunken Rage, I would just throwing up everywhere. I think there was like that Reddit post I shared with you, Joe, where like they Kaido drank a Four Loko and went into blackout mode where he's just throwing up everywhere. That's pretty good. That's
I remember
good
seeing
gags.
that one.
It's I found the inflating his leg thing. It's on the next page.
Yeah, there you go. It's at the end here. Like, I think like this was what I needed. It's been so long since we had seen the Kaido Luffy fight, and Oda kind of brought it here. Like, this is some of the best choreography in the whole arc, which makes sense. Oda knows how to draw the Luffy fights the best. And then we got the fucking banger, which is the Zunisha ending, where we definitely got to talk about this because it's been a couple weeks since this chapter came out, so a lot of theories have come out. But basically, the world government is kind of watching a fruit that the name of the fruit changed, but it's for some reason relevant here in Wano, and they're afraid of an awakening. So what's everyone's running theory for what fruit they're talking about? Or are they talking about Zunisha or something else? Like, that's
you gave a really good, I think when this chapter came out was the Boys Weekend where we recorded Game of the Year.
No way. That feels like forever ago.
We sat down in a room and we talked about it because of the cheek fruit. We were thinking it was that. With the awakening, you can do humans instead of just animals.
Yeah, so my favorite theory right now is that it's, what's her name? Tama's fruit. And it would make sense. So I think the thing that makes that theory makes the most sense for me is if CP9's kind of reporting on the battle, Tama's fruit has changed the tide of the fight. So now they're like, oh, wait, that's the Kibidongo fruit. Also, Kibidongo is a weird fruit to exist because, like, say the mochi fruit, Katakuri's mochi is normal mochi, and then he manipulates it. With her fruit, like, her little fruit, like, you don't eat a Kibidongo in real life and become possessed. So, like, it makes sense that they would rebrand that fruit where they're like, oh, hey, this looks like a snack, so we're going to call it that to kind of downplay how powerful the fruit can be.
Robin's fruit is called the flower fruit, and she doesn't sprout flowers. It's
true. Yeah, it is a metaphor.
To me, that makes the most sense. And then you also have Zunisha, who probably ended up eating the fruit at one point.
So Zunisha here. Zunisha's reason for showing up, I don't think the fruit is something Zunisha ate. I think the point is...
Sorry, not the fruit, but the cheek.
Right, okay, yes, exactly. So Zunisha must have eaten the awakened cheek. Maybe this was Joy Boy's fruit at some point, because we'll learn later that Zunisha was Joy Boy's partner in crime, which is a whole thing to unpack. But yeah, I feel like...
Joy Boy was actually the bad guy the entire time.
That would be kind of cool. Who knows? Anything's possible. We don't know much about that guy. But... all to say that I think the reason to show Zunisha here is to show that, like, the impact of the command you get from the awakened version of this fruit is millennium wide. Like, it'll go forever. You can't disobey that command. And maybe the command was like, walk the sea unless a D-Clan member or like a Joy Boy descendant kind of character talks to you and commands you, and that's where Momo comes in.
It's interesting.
That's my running theory. Any other ones worth bringing up that anyone can think of? I definitely don't think it's Luffy's fruit. That just seems so weird to me.
No.
The idea
I think it has something to do with Momo's fruit, because I was rewatching the Zoe arc where the elephant's like begging to be given a command, and Momo can give him the command. So I don't know if it really has to do too much with like manipulation.
Well, my theory is that the command mattered because whoever gave Zunisha the command initially was like, don't listen to anyone but D-Clan descendants or something.
But is Momo a D-Clan?
That's the thing. The Kazuki clan is tied to the Ancient Kingdom. So sorry, maybe it's like any Ancient Kingdom command can overwrite this initial command. This is reaching, like, we're now reaching to like what this Fruit's Awakening could do in the full extent of it, but
I feel like this has got to be something that comes in at the denouement of the arc and sets us up for the next island, I feel.
Go ahead.
But my question is, like, why is Zunisha here and what made it come here, right?
Momo doesn't seem surprised. I mean, granted, we don't get to see the moment he sees Zunisha, but we in the most recent chapter we read, he's like, yeah, Zunisha's here. And
well, he also read the spoiler books.
Yeah, he read the spoilers, so he's a bad One Piece fan. Well,
I feel like it has something to do with Momo's fruit. The fact that it was being manufactured by the government, it was requested to be made, and something to do with the dragons and Marijoa.
So, hold on. An island. No, that's impossible. That fruit is only a legend to us now. It has not awakened for centuries. So here's another thing. That fruit's only a legend to us now. It has to be a Wano fruit because that makes the plot of Wano being closed in so much more important and relevant, and like the plot only functions because it's closed in. The other option is, has CP9 caught a glimpse of Toki in the grounds of like the palace or something? Because that would be interesting if they're talking about Toki's fruit. And of course they would. Well, why would I mean? The current CP9 people probably don't know what Toki looks like. She might have a bounty. I feel like Toki's somewhere in this island right now, personally.
But we've discussed this. Like, can her fruit just let her teleport to anywhere? Like,
well, her fruit lets her go forward, right? Maybe the awakening is it can go backwards or send people. Well, she already can send people forward. So
yeah.
Well,
I don't think it's Toki. I think it's more likely someone else that we currently see running around, and I think the Tama's fruit is the biggest.
I would go Tama, then Toki, then Momo as like the most possible.
And the very bottom being Yamato.
And another thing is Lost in Time. It would almost imply it's one of the characters that was sent forward in time 20 years. But I mean, Wano's been closed for a long time, so I don't know. You could just assume it. I think it's someone from Wano. That's the big takeaway. All right, moving on. 1038. We see a return of Bookman's books. Notably, and Pudding's here too. That's cool. And so is
Sunman.
Yeah, Sunman. The book guy was in the ship that's in Wano right now, so that's a slight confirmation that his powers work if he's far away. So that's something. Throw that on the Wikipedia. So the funniest fight of the arc is still ongoing. That's nice.
The non-fight fight where they're just holding each other in place.
This is the truest One Piece fight because it's all willpower.
This is peak anime.
You may not accept it, but you will come to understand it
all the time. Just
So
is this Conqueror's hockey? Could you constitute this as Conqueror's hockey?
Ninjutsu. Yeah, they're paralyzing each other, right? That's why they both are doing the finger jutsu, but like they're both on fire. Jinbei's being a boss. Chopper. I think Chopper's looking for Zoro, and then someone else is also looking for Zoro.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on?
We don't get a resolution to this next chapter.
He's dead.
He's fucking dead, mate. Zoro stands. I'm so sorry. You're
dead on the ground.
Dude, he's a fucking goner. So what do we think? Hallucination because he's tripping balls off of his drugs, or what?
It's a theory. Maybe not stupid, or maybe this was like I had this in a fever dream. But basically, to get the Black Blade, you have to be Death in a duel, and so this is Zoro's time to shine.
I think you saw this in a Reddit, but also like I am not completely unokay with that idea, as stupid as it is. I'm kind of here for it.
He already makes 9 arms. Like, what the fuck?
Y'all, what nobody guessed what if it's Brooke just fucking with him?
So people did bring that up apparently, but we see Brooke next chapter with Robin, so it is unfortunately not Brooke. I think Oda knew it too. Like he's like, no, Brooke's here.
Oh no.
I think Joe made the joke where it's like, what if every time you're about to die in One Piece, you have a spiritual battle with Death, but Death is really easy to beat? So,
he's actually just a giant chump.
You have to be like really fucked up to lose to Death at the moment.
You have to be Ace bad.
Oh, Ace bad. Izo is stopping CP0 here, so we haven't gotten a resolution here. Yeah. Anything worth noting with the dialogue here?
I don't think so. I just also thought
we never
didn't the microwave.
Oh, you can run. I'll say something. It's interesting that the CP0 guy says we never saw each other here today, Izo. Like he's willing to just let bygones be bygones. They're really focused on Robin right now, which is coherent.
Yeah, I thought it would be funny if I was thinking about this while I was getting my stuff out of the oven. That what if it's Kinemon's fruit and he can make it look like someone else completely?
So, like, right, okay, what would the awakening of the costume fruit, or garb fruit be? You know, like,
yeah.
And you know what's cool? I've brought it up multiple times. Kinemon has one of the 2 fruits that fits the Straw Hat Fruit naming scheme. His is the 2-9 fruit.
And he's literally what's been going on the entire series. Their costumes change all the time. If he was their outfitter, it would just fit in so well. He's a powerhouse. He uses swords.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing about both okay, Kinemon and Yamato joining, both of them fuck Brooke over, and that really upsets me because, like, I think at this point it's just very clear that Yamato has ice powers, so that takes Brooke's gimmick, and then it's very clear that Brooke is the lesser swordsman, and now he'll be 3rd swordsman in the crew. So, like, poor Brooke, neither of these are a good person to join. So that's why Carrot joining is most relevant, because she only slightly clashes with Nami. And
also as a mink, so you get that diversity paycheck from
and that's my TED Talk. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. What else happens here? Oh yes, the comical bombs.
I really like this page. This gives me vintage One Piece, like the curviness of like the room and the bombs. Like there's some good old vintage One Piece. And then Yamato fights a fire like with their fucking club. So that's pretty neat. Cool.
Yes, Kid Koopa.
And then, Bowser Jr. boss form shows back up. Big Mom. And she's whooping our boys. Hera's dropping lightning bolts. And...
I like the cheerleading squad that both captains have.
Yeah, because these guys are fucking useless. You're never gonna see...
You know they're useless.
You're never gonna see a law crew member do something cool, ever. I think in 1,000 chapters of One Piece, I can't think of the law crewmates doing one cool thing aside happening to be in a submarine and saving Luffy earlier.
I was gonna say they saved Luffy.
In Cell Body Archipelago, they did do a combo attack on Kizaru. It did nothing, but they did it.
That's what they get. At least Kid has Killer, and Killer does stuff sometimes, so that's
Killer's
a plus.
so fucking cool.
Yeah, Killer's pretty neat. I like him. Didn't think I would. So Law still despite the fact that they were like, hey, this attack's gonna drain us heavily, they still have enough to fucking fight for 2 more chapters. So I guess that was drastically overstated. So Law's
like this. Holy shit, Big Mom's dead.
I like to think Shockville is pronounced Shockville, so he's taking her to Shockville.
Yeah. Like that is definitely a German thing.
Yeah.
Where it's just like Shockville.
So, like, Law has an extendo pole on his sword now, and Oda loves to do this, where he's like, well, I'm gonna explain what this power was, like, in a question corner 2 volumes from now, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm not explaining it now.
His awakened fruit is that he can just enhance an object.
Well, right, no, so, okay, yeah, what is Law's awakening actually? Like, describe it to me, because I don't think anyone is gonna...
What is any awakening, actually?
Well, every other awakening is pretty reasonable.
Impose it on something, but, like, I guess he imposes on the sword, he makes it extend, but, like, I guess he's taking the air particles and turning them into sword particles.
I think what I reasoned earlier was that his awakening is that he gets to make a moving room, or apply it to a moving object, and then that object gets to be manipulated within room. And I guess in that sense, it makes sense that he can extend the sword if that's like
the anesthesia room to it.
Yeah, the room. But unfortunately, we don't get a distinct answer. Kid gets a cool bull attack. This is going to be dope in the next Pirate Warriors. So there's a lot of talk, and I'm glad I dodged all of this. Sometimes I'm glad I don't engage with One Piece community YouTubers and some of the Reddit threads where apparently people hate Kid. Like, people really dislike Kid, and they think that either he's a weakling, or if he does something cool, they immediately downplay it. So I want to get, like, a field check for how the Roundabout cast feels about Kid in, like, moments like this.
I always really liked Kid. Like, I like playing him in Pirate Warriors, and then I just like his ability. I think this entire, like, fight, including Roof Piece, he's been using his abilities, like, creatively. Like, he makes the metal box to trap Zeus in so he can't get out and makes Mom fall.
See, but the haters say that he's not used it creatively, that he's just been using it to ram people, and it's like, well, yeah, he's like a junk magnet. He's not like Magneto gets like a piece of metal and puts it in your nervous system.
Also, that's like Kid's personality. He's aggressive and just like headbutts things.
He's
like,
brash. How do y'all feel about Big Mom taking damage from and oh my god, I've seen this word so many times, ACOC, Advanced Conquer or Color of Conquer? How do you feel about her taking damage from like hockey blows?
So I actually thought about that today. I was like, so I've been shutting my brain off as I've been reading these chapters lately and just going along the ride so I can enjoy it more. Because I've already been like, I've been watching One Piece again, the anime. I've been watching, where am I at? Dressrosa. I enjoy Dressrosa a lot. A little slow sometimes, but not the worst.
I like Dressrosa.
But yeah, I was just like, man, this fight is all just devil fruits.
That's what's great, right? I actually kind of like how little hockey, like, this is a very devil fruit focused fight, and Luffy's doing a very hockey focused fight. And you know why? You know why this is, and why Oda is not focusing on, like, well, people are crying like Big Mom didn't do enough hockey attacks. The reason why, and this is gonna be the hard truth, is because Kaido's moveset is boring. If he's not in the big dragon form where he does his elemental attacks, then he's just swinging a club, and he's fast. He's got a tail, so that's why that fight has cool hockey stuff going on. And this fight has the
beam is kind of neat.
Barf beam is cool. Yeah, he's either shooting like elemental breaths or like, but like he doesn't have the creativity that these 3 characters have, and that's why I'm glad. Like, fuck your headcanons about whether or not hockey needs to be used. I think this is just way more entertaining. I think people care so much about the power scaling and what hockey means in One Piece. It's like, take it, like, One Piece is not a battle shonen, it is an adventure series with fighting, and Oda doesn't care that much about making a fight that rivals like a JoJo or Hunter x Hunter fight. He cares more about doing the adventure.
Yeah, like, he just stabbed her in the face with a long pole, a washing pole, like,
and she's chilling,
trying to get here about logistics.
Yeah, and even like,
point out, Willer, that Law does state that his awakening allows him to imbue it on objects and change their shape and form.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like room is an area, but as far as we know, it's unmoving. So I think that's the really big benefit of K room is that you can just apply.
You can apply it to an object and make it kind of like.
I want to see Endgame Law applying it to his fists and doing like crazy Bart style barrier punches.
Yeah. Look, you want me to have a complaint? Here's my complaint.
No, I don't want it. No, hold on.
How come Law and Kid got all their teeth? What the fuck is up with that? They've been in some big fights.
Yeah. They drank milk, bro.
Drinking milk. They throw up a lot of milk in their.
No, Kid's literally missing an arm. Why the fuck they got all their teeth?
Because so milk doesn't fix arms. That's been established, I think.
Yeah, milk fixes teeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Luffy lost his teeth in Whole Cake Island and Brook did too, there's a scene after they fight Sanji, but before they do the wedding,
they just chug a bunch of milk. I remember.
Yeah, it's canon. That was not anime filler. That's real.
I think also this shouldn't be important, but like Kid is using Big Mom's like beams as part of the material in constructing this thing.
Yeah, she did kind of fuck up by making those little guys. They were only mildly helpful.
Yeah. I want to talk about this real quick. All right, we're looking at a feudal Japanese style structure built inside the skull of a giant. And you have steel frame construction in this bitch?
Yeah.
Like, I have not seen a single steel column or beam in this entire structure. I have seen nothing but wooden columns and pylons. No, you do not cover those things with, like, that's not how feudal Japanese architecture works.
Now, for once, Tyler kind of has a point. Now, let me go back a couple chapters after we do the podcast, and I'm going to see the page where these beams first fall, so I can look at the structure that they fell from. Because, look, the thing is, they're not limited to the construction of Japanese. Like, Wano has really good blacksmiths now, so, like, I could see them making...
And Wano is doing steel frame construction.
Wano has good factories. Wano is known for good factories. They have good production. That's why they're self-sustainable as an island.
Even the buildings, like most buildings we have seen in all of One Piece, they're built out of stone, clay, like they're all very natural materials.
Say in the entire building there's one structure built out of metal. Say there's like 50 steel beams in the entire Onigashima. They're still going to be present for this fight because of magnetism. Like, so they could have come. They could have come from like somewhere in the side, but they're going to be present.
That's fine.
Steel beams will make it to the Wano fight.
Look, I'm just saying. Kind of the most steel that's around is Frankie.
Yeah.
Maybe the Sunny.
That is a missed opportunity, actually, for a Kid to use Frankie as an attack later on. I actually, now that you've willed that into existence, I hope it happens.
I'm just saying, like, where did these iron I-beams, where did these steel I-beams come from?
The last thing I would like to bring up about them damaging Big Mom, right? So Big Mom has the best defense in One Piece, I would argue, right? And the thing is, if her mental state is busted, she can scrape her knee. That implies that like she needs to be like clenching and ready for an impact and like cognizant. But if you're tiring her out with room attacks and stuff like that, and she's an old hag already, she runs out of steam, and then eventually I think big blunt attacks start hurting her, and Kid does compare her to a big steel blimp to where like, okay, your defense is low enough now to where like I can just kind of smash you and still fuck up your organs. I'm cool with that. I think that works.
I think Shockville penetrates the defenses, goes right through, ignores all defensive values.
Definitely.
Shocks her, damages her mental state, and then she even is like, you're still standing, kid? So she's definitely shocked, and he's like,
yeah. So like all that to say, I'm not really that huffy about Kid being able, like, Big Mom getting damaged here. I think it's a cool feat actually, because Big Mom has like just been in the series so long as someone who even Luffy can't damage. We'll get to some other stuff about this encounter later. This color page is so good.
Yeah.
Got Calvin Robin. That one's for you. Did I say Calvin Robin? Anyways.
Calvin.
The colors are great, and Tyler should probably use this one.
Who the pink monkey?
The pink monkey is Luffy's grandpa. He's Monkey D. Pink.
They're in like a hive or something. They got honey everywhere.
Yeah. One Piece World's fucking weird, man. 1093 or 39. I can read. Is a continuation of the fight. One thing I really like is Big Mom's like homifying her bones to fix a broken arm. That is so cool. Like, say whatever you want. I think Big Mom and I think this was an interesting fight where everybody came off looking great, which I think is really impressive. I'm sure some people would disagree. She's also got her Mazer saber, which is like such a cool looking move.
Yeah, did she like combine all of her things into a sword?
Yeah, so she's got the flame and lightning homie on the sword, and so now she gets like a big lightning beam. Yeah, there's the flame one too in the middle, so that's a really cool move. And then like this is one of my favorite parts. This is a vintage One Piece. So Kid assigns Mom to the building that she fell next to. And also, there's probably some steel beams in there. Yeah, there you go. That's for steel. Like there are.
It needs to be metal. I think he can just give things magnetism.
Oh, but there's probably steel beams in the wall. That's what I'm saying. But you're right. Yeah, he does give things magnetism, and I love how Big Mom still lifts it up and uses to block the other bull attack. I think that's such a cool feat from her that like even after she's taken all this damage, she's doing these incredible feats of strength. Misery is such a cool fucking attack, and so I saw a prominent One Piece YouTuber be like, Big Mom sucks. If this is her final attack, then it's lame. I'm like, this attack looks like Mother Carmel. This is a really poignant, and the attack is called
3,000 Leagues of Misery.
Yeah, Mother's Vision Cannon, 3,000 Leagues of Misery. And the way it's translated, it's basically, it's a metaphor for her, like, missing her mom and the misery that is filled, like, the misery that leads to fuels this attack. And it's like, that's where people are like, this wasn't a cool, like, Kaido Dragon Beam, so it's not a cool attack. It's like, but it's about the themes. Oda doesn't care about battle shonen.
It'll be cool when it's Empire Warriors and people can see what it does.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stand. It just like slashes at you with lightning. It looks dope. Law's used to in his normal bullshit, and this was a pretty jaw-dropping panel where he stabs the sword all the way down Onigashima.
And she's even like, oh shit, not again.
So out of every character who's penetrated Big Mom, I think Law has done the best job. He's gone the deepest. So why do you suppose he has to go deeper and deeper? Like, I'm going to say that the longer the sword, the more lightning, the more shock that Shockville will do, I guess. We'll go with that. I don't know how much it makes sense, but maybe like there's more surface area, and for all of that surface area, it does a Shockville, so it's stronger.
That was their plan all along. Is they did a Shikamaru. It's like, we can't beat her. Let's throw her into a fucking hole that she can't climb out of, kind of thing.
True. Like Law is deliberately going deeper too. So like it's either it'll be a stronger attack, or because you're right, he is the Shikamaru of One Piece when you get down to it.
Yeah.
Another thing I really
no one's going to come find you.
Another thing I really like here is Law tanking the hockey punches. This feels like some vintage One Piece. Like when I think of One Piece fights, I think of characters like beating themselves up to get a single attack in to finish the fight, kind of thing. Like Nami stopping the Hedgehog Lady, Miss Doublefinger in Alabasta by like letting her stab through her foot. Stuff like that is to me very One Piece.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. And this panel of Shockville looks fucking dope. Like using a big length panel to show like the big length of the sword and how it's destroying the ground.
Pins her down, so now she can't move. So Kid can get his shot off too.
Which, let's get to that. Kid makes a rail gun.
Yeah. Like, what? Kid's not creative. He makes a fucking...
And it looks dope.
What if this is giving more to the theory that Vegapunk made Kid?
Oh man, I really miss
ability because he knows how to make all this futuristic shit.
Dude, I really miss, like, that's my favorite theory we've ever had. But like Oda then revealed the name of Kid's fruit, and I feel like we've been running on low steam since.
I still think he's related to Vegapunk in some way.
I mean, his attack is called Damned Punk, which is, by the way, maybe my favorite attack name out of this arc so far. Damned Punk is just really good. And they declare her era over. So let's get to the idea of
wait. You gotta. She just straight up challenges his fucking attack.
Oh yeah, she just got penetrated, just took a Law's strongest attack ever, and then she's still laughing and going. Like, this is why I'm gonna get to if you go back to our recordings, you will hear me say multiple times, I don't want Kid and Law to win. I think Big Mom doesn't have the rapport she does with them that she has with Luffy. Luffy's biggest rival throughout the New World has been Big Mom. If you go back and read, they have the most relationship as far as rivalry. Even more so than Luffy doesn't talk to Blackbeard anymore. It's Big Mom who he calls up on the phone and trash talks multiple times throughout the New World. And he never got to beat her, right? So to me, it was I want Luffy to do it. The thing is, and especially with what Oda does next chapter, that being said, I'm still pretty happy with how this came out. I thought this was a really good chapter.
I'm very pleased with this.
And I think it goes to show that, we need to step away from our headcanons and what we want and kind of see what Oda is trying to do here and give him a shot, because what he's doing might be better than anything we've ever guessed. And honestly, throughout the 1,000 chapters of One Piece, almost every time Oda's going to do the thing better than you wanted.
I think also what this does is that, when Luffy beats Kaido, it's going to show that he has the strength of both Kid and Law combined to be an emperor.
And even more so because Big Mom is not done as we get to the next chapter. So, as someone who was very against this, I'm happy to say that I came around on it because the execution was so good. It was that's easily my favorite fight in Wano now. I thought it was dope. It was a good 2 chapters, not to mention the little glimpses we got in the past of just badass action that used devil fruits really creatively. So, this bitch just got railgun, and she immediately goes into life or slavery and starts stealing the souls.
Dude, she's, grasping onto the sides of the building on this first page. Yeah. She doesn't get pushed through the hole.
I know, she's going, she's, kind of grinning through it and laughing through it and yelling, damn, Brett. She's so cool. I think this is great. And look how scary she looks. She's stealing all the souls while she's still down. So Law's able to slash through
Misery.
Hera Misery here, which is interesting because I think you can slash through them, but it doesn't kill them, even with Haki. So either he learned a lightning killing move, or she's not actually What I'm trying to say is he's slashing her here, but she's only gone. If the fight doesn't end right here, she would have gotten back up. Is what I'm trying to say.
You missed the. Did you talk about the soul pocus being started?
Yeah. So life or slavery, which for anyone who needs refresher how soul pocus works, it's if you don't give Big Mom. If you're afraid of her and you don't give her what she wants, you give her life instead. So she's either become my slave or be brave enough. And
I think also, Willard, I don't think that's Law cutting up Misery there. I think that's just the power coming off of her arms, or rotating around her arms.
Well, no, this is the panel. Yeah, he's definitely cutting through her.
Yes.
Let's talk about the most busted fruit in One Piece. We've been having this conversation for years. What the fuck is the Opioid Fruit?
This is everything an operating room does.
Yeah, steal a whole. There's a devil fruit that exists that does this, and this is a niche ability of Law's. That is ridiculous. This is a side ability locking. However, very cool that he's channeling some Corazon. Goes to show you, I don't know if Oda ever planned for us to get to this point with Lost Fruit, but I just love how I feel like this is an adaptation he made, where, we can make a really cool moment out of this. It's also really... It's a really creative way to nullify the Soul Pocus, because that's really cool, because this is the first ability we ever saw Big Mom can do, and it would have been kind of lame if she never tries it on the enemies during a fight.
That's something I was going to point out. That's why I really like the execution of this fight.
Yeah.
We see Big Mom use all of her abilities.
Yeah.
She does them all.
It's and I'm sure she has some other tricks in the tank, but as far as we know, she's touched on every category she can operate in, which I think is great. So yeah, what I was saying is I don't think Law is properly killing Misery here, but this delaying her. Big Mom gets shot through. She grabs a bomb, gets exploded. Do you think the Kazemembo Boo 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 got killed here?
No, he's gonna like snake around, and then everyone's gonna forget about him, and then he's gonna blow up some fucking bomb that's gonna cause Onigashima to start to tip, and then then Momo has to come back around and hold up the place as it's starting to fall down.
He's gonna go kill Kinemon. That's just what Oda's gonna make him do. He's gonna disappear up, and he's gonna set Kinemon on fire, and Kinemon will be too weak to fire dance the flames away.
Kinemon's whole thing is killing fire, so I think
I know, but this is the ultimate revenge. Ugh.
So hey, come on now. I think what people are saying, he's going, oh Lord Orochi. I think what's happening is he sees the explosion happening, and that was Orochi's will. I think Orochi specifically told it to go explode the bombs, and some of the bombs exploded. Some people are theorizing that like the will that's fueling this hatred fire is gone. But I guess we're gonna have to wait till next chapter to see how that plays out.
Yo, Zoro's fucking dead.
Yeah, so in this page, Zoro's clearly dead, and what's more, he's falling with Big Mom now. What the fuck's gonna happen to Zoro?
Zoro died. All the stands can shut the fuck up now.
I feel bad. I never thought I would feel empathy for a Zoro stan because they're subhuman, but even I feel bad for them now.
Dude.
Their whole existence for living is gone.
I love this. This is such a good, like, internal monologue.
Yeah, so this is why, while she didn't have that rivalry she did with Luffy, this kind of ties it all together where she's cursing Roger for starting this damned era, and now Roger's dead and we have to put up with these fucking youngsters coming in here and taking our turf. So it's like so vindictive, but also like passing the blame, where it's like, you're just not the top dog anymore, Big Mom. And what's cool is I still don't think she's done for the arc. Like she leaves off in a sense where like she could show up at the very end and do some stuff, but I'll talk about that later.
Hopefully she just falls into the ocean hole.
Another thing that could happen is she somehow falls into the Big Mom ship and they get knocked down a third time, but I'm kind of tired of them getting knocked down.
Oh, we're not on that page yet. Never mind.
You like what?
It's on the next page. There it is. I like that because of Law's stolen ability that the power captain still doesn't realize what's going on, even though this huge explosion just happened.
Yeah, I think that's great. However, it's also kind of detrimental because it would be nice if they got a warning. So this is kind of an unfortunate circumstance. Maybe what if they never know that this happened? This is something I never even considered.
Yeah.
Because One Piece loves doing its timer finales where the citizens are put in danger. So in my mind, it was always going to be like, they're going to see Momo stop it.
Yeah.
How cool would it be if they never knew that they were in danger all night? I think that would make for a more interesting story than the usual.
It's like, oh, your entire form of government changed again.
For the better this time. Now your Shogun's a trans tall girl with a Odin complex because Momo's sailing with the Straw Hats.
Also a child in a 27-year-old body.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is a great way to. This is a very satisfying way to defeat Big Mom for the time being. Like she still has her conscience as she's falling, but Kid and Law came out looking like badasses. She did, like Tyler said, she pulled out all her bag of tricks, and it was creative. It was Devil Fruit based. I like how the whole consequently gets rid of the bombs, so it fixes multiple problems at once. It was just really well written. This whole little section. All right, any predictions for the future of the arc and / Big Mom? For me,
got one more spread there, which is.
Oh god, yeah, we have more. Oh Jesus, we got to talk about this. Kid and Law, of course, exhausted. They worked their asses off. So Momo says, "I'm glad you're here." Zunisha is very close by, so he knows that she's here, but isn't freaking out about it. What? The elephant from Odin's journal, indeed a companion of Joy Boy who committed a crime 800 years ago. All right, what are we thinking?
He ate Joy Boy.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where this could go either be a not crime where it was made illegal to make this person illegal kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Like the demonization of a race or person is something that's happened in One Piece before.
Yeah, or it's something that like was genuinely bad, or something that like maybe it was a scenario was the nation had to do something to protect some people, and Joy Boy didn't like it but understood why, and so told him to leave. You know,
800 years ago, I think there's two ways this can go. Were the Celestial Dragons a thing in the Void Century, or were they a thing right after the Void Century? I think we might even have a confirmation in this story for the answer to that. Because I think it's stated that they showed up right after the Void Century.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah, because they say that the dragons are descendants from the houses that made up the world government that put their swords at the throne's feet.
Yeah. I'd have to refresh on that. So, like, I was like, I feel like Zunaisha offended or went against the order of Im, who I believe is who the immortal operation's been done on. I think that's a pretty common theory. That's why they're potentially immortal. They've been alive the entire 800 years. And that's why they're a criminal. They went against... It's like the same crime you commit against the Celestial Dragons, where it's like, oh, you stepped in front of me when I told you to go away. That's a crime worth of death or slavery. Like, someone who has so much power that they can treat an act of kindness or an act of ignorance as a crime.
I'm going to double down on that. I think it was... I see it as like a scenario where Joy Boy is trying to like unite people or is trying to like work with people. The elephant, I don't know, maybe the elephant like stops people from like enslaving minks and kills a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And they're going to kill the elephant, but then Joy Boy says like, just exile him, have him take the minks, and then he'll never bother us again.
I could definitely see something like that playing out. Unfortunately,
he forces them to eat a dongo.
Yeah. Yeah, he eats like the awakened dongo, so he has to follow the command, and so on and so forth. Which I think would double down on Joy Boy maybe being the owner of the dongo fruit. So I'd like to see how that plays out. Unfortunately, we don't have too much information to make anything definitive. We just have
read the spoiler journal.
Yeah, fucking cheating ass Momo Yamato. Tyler, do you have any ideas on this Zunaisha stuff? All right.
No, I've been brain off enjoying One Piece.
On the other side, I think Big Mom is out. Here's the thing. In my heart of hearts, I still want Luffy to hurt Big Mom. So here's what I'm hoping for. The arc ends with them on ground. Big Mom pops out of the ground, but at this point, she's half dead, Kaido's half dead, Luffy's half dead, and they have their big three-way clash.
Zoro is dead.
Zoro died last chapter, so you don't even have to, like, that's just a fact. So I've been going on and on about how I want at least my three-way clash where it's just the three of them, no one else. So I'm gonna hold out a hope for that. If not, that's fine. I'm happy with what we got of Big Mom, but we'll see if I'm right. It'll take a while before this pans out. That aside, what do y'all think will happen with Big Mom? You think she's just out, or?
Yeah, she's out. She's gone.
I think she'll crawl out of her hole, and then like the rest of the Big Mom pirates will have made the shore, and then she'll escape with them.
Yeah, that's a very viable option.
And then
where
she goes to Elbaf, or they wait to see where the Straw Hats go, or something like that, and then follow them again.
Valid. We might get the answer to that. Like, if it is that, we might get that answer like within the next 2 or 3 chapters. In fact, so
maybe. Or Big Mom becomes a cover story, which is sad.
I've always liked the idea of the Big Mom pirates showing up as like a reverse "Here Comes the Cavalry" moment. Which, hey,
I could also see it where they do intend to do that, and then they see Big Mom is like fucking defeated, and they're just like,
let's just cut our losses and get out. Yeah. We'll see how that plays out. Arc structure wise, all we have left is, I think. So did the Raizo fight end this chapter also?
No, they're just on fire.
No, but Fukurokuju falls.
Does he?
But I think he's still yelling, so like he still got some in him. So I think that wraps up pretty soon. Then the Komurasaki stuff has to, or Hiyori stuff with Orochi has to wrap up.
She's got to cut his fucking head off.
Are we finally at the point where we have like we're seeing the end of the tunnel here? Because all we have left then is CP0.
CP0 and Luffy.
That's really exciting. That like really puts wind back, winds in my sail.
Fight CP0, and that's his big fight with a Robin support.
I would love Brook to get every frame of screenshot or screen time, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I could see him pulling up a valiant effort, but then getting his ass whooped.
Which he's the only member of the crew that hasn't been a CP member.
Yeah, the thing is, Oda like loves giving Brook the side role, and like maybe that's intentional. Maybe he's always been the support, like that a musician's role is like morale, and like maybe he'll never get that big spotlight. Because even in this arc, he was the Robin support. He did some cool stuff, but it was mostly a Robin fight.
It is sweet, like treble cleft attack.
Yeah, it's straight up for a fighting game or a Warriors game in the future. God willing, a fighting game. If we were so blessed. So yeah, like I don't think
Raizo's gonna just fucking paralyze Fukuroso and have him die there. That's metal.
That is metal. Like this is the I love their fight. I think it's goofy and fun.
It's like you're on the ground burning. I'm gonna make sure you have no chance to move and die. Like get out of here.
Damn, he's like, Raizo, let me go, please. I promise to blah blah blah. And Raizo's just like, fuck you, dude. Not until you're a fucking corpse.
Do you think all the scabbards will be dead by the end of this?
I used to, and then I grew up.
Oh, you remember you were reading One Piece?
And then I remembered Oda killing someone is a once in a lifetime. Like, people have lived and died before, like since Ace died and Monet died. Like the stretches of time that he goes before he kills someone are huge, and I just don't know. Like, this is an arc that's gonna end with a party at the end. Well, most likely. So
it could be a funeral, and then they eat all their food off of their bones, like Odin did.
Wait, that'd be fucking sick. Oh, it's such a shame Oda's a coward because that would be so good. But again, let Oda write his own story. What he's gonna give us is good. With the thing is, Oda's gonna give us better than we expect, with the exception of death. Like Pell has no reason to be alive right now. If Pell doesn't do something amazing in the final arc, his revival was meaningless.
Oh.
But
what about Pound?
Pound at least got to meet Chiffon, so you know there was some reason there. And Pagaya also had no reason to live. He's just Conus' dad who got blasted by 100 million volts of lightning, and he's like,
And then Pedro is somewhere with robotic arm now.
Stop. All right, we're ending the podcast here. We don't.
All right, bye.
Bye.